Hi and welcome back to Celebrity Goddess Oracle. So today we're going to be connecting into the energy surrounding Billie Eilish. So as you know, I like to use the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. So let's connect into the energy surrounding Billie Eilish and see what's going on. So she's super popular, isn't she, at the moment? She's everywhere. Those in the know, she's been around for a few years. But she's just sort of like, going from strength to strength, isn't she? She was at the Oscars with her brother, playing the segment for the memorial. Oh, wow, okay. Flying out the deck. And she's just released, I think, the theme tune. Wow, okay. The theme tune for the new Bond film coming up. Oh, okay. Wow, the cards are just jumping out for for Billie Eilish here. Okay, one more. So really talented, really diverse kind of music. I love listening to her. So I'm gonna have one more for here. Collaborates with her brother Phineas. Oh, wow, the cards are unbelievable. The cards are just jumping out. Okay, and one more for here, one for here. And then we'll dive in and see what's going on around her. Okay, one more for this, please. One more card. Oh, wow, okay. Okay. Right, and one more for here, actually. Okay, wow, okay. Nope, just one more for here. Okay, perfect, right. Okay, I think we're going to dive in here. So, where to start is always sort of like the question, actually, where to start. But I'm always going with what I'm guided and what I feel. So I'm going to start here, actually, with Billie. And this is, when I sort of connect into the energy here, I feel vulnerability, actually, real vulnerability. And so guiding children cards sometimes connects with literally having children or working with children, but often it's not. It can be also the inner child, and this is the feeling that I get. This is the feeling what I get when I connect into her, the energy, around her. It's from here that her art comes from, actually. It's from here that her art comes from. And we're going to come to this. I'm going to come to this part here. But before we get to sort of like, get to her art, we're going to talk about where it comes from. It comes from this inner child and this, I get this real feeling of hurt around her. One of isolation. One of real isolation, actually. But I can see, we're moving away from this. She moves sort of deeper into sort of expressing herself through her art. She's going on this journey. She's been on this journey. She's continuing on this journey. And, unusually for this reading, we're kind of going from here and we're going out. And then I'm going to pull a different card, actually. We're going to go a different way with this. But we'll pull, once we get to the end of that, we're going to pull another card to tie it all together, actually. Is what we're going to do. We might do that now, actually, and see what comes out the deck. So I'm going to use the guidance angel oracle cards. Let's just see what comes out of here, actually, to tie this all together. This is quite an unusual, it's kind of an unusual direction, actually, but we're just going to go with it. That's what happens. I never know where I'm going when I start. That's always the interesting part, to be fair. So just one card to tie this all together. Right, okay. Yeah, all right. It's nice. That's a beautiful card. Right, and also, wow, okay, we're going to dig deeper. Right, okay. So I've got a new deck, actually, the Divine Feminine Oracle. This is I've been working with this for the last week. This is a really interesting deck. So I'm just going to pull one card from here as well. connected to here, and an overarching card actually for her, and see what comes out. So when you work with a new deck, it takes time to, you know, you have to sort of connect into it, and it takes sort of a little bit of time to sort of become used to it actually, and the cards to sort of, the cards to become responsive. Okay, the Goddess of Magic. Okay, right, perfect. Right, okay, so we're on the, okay, right, so we are going to go this direction. So to come back to what we were talking about previously, we're going to put these cards to one side for the minute, and we'll come back to them in a moment. So in terms of her art, you know, it's this sort of wounded inner child that she's got going on. There's a huge amount of isolation, but this has led to sort of her inner wisdom. You know, a lot of, I haven't listened to all of her music, but her music is quite narrative, it's quite personal, it's quite cathartic, and it's quite, each sort of song is quite different from the stuff that I have actually heard. And it's really, I think, you know, she's pushing the boundaries, you know, with her art, but more importantly, as she's going on this sort of journey with her art, is the boundaries that, you know, she's actually opening up her boundaries. So, you know, for a lot of times when we read boundaries, it's often people are without them. But for Billie, this is the opposite actually. This is actually a transformation of bringing the boundaries down and of opening up, you know. And with the bodies of water here, often it's like connection with nature, but this is actually to do with like a massive tidal shift. A massive tidal shift, which we're seeing here as a beginning and ending. So these are, all of these cards are connected. All of them are connected, yeah? And for her, you know, she is a woman, you know, a young woman who is really sort of stepping into herself actually. Is really, you know, this transformation for this girl, this woman, this is not easy. This is anything but easy. She's so uncomfortable in a way, and putting herself out there, but her art transcends that. You know, when she expresses herself through her art, she enters into sort of like this sacred space. She feels, this is sort of like how she feels connected to herself and connects to other people. And, you know, this is how she expresses her artistic side. This for her is not art. This for her is, this is like breathing. This is necessary. This is vital for her and her life. It doesn't matter if she's been found or not or whatever, she'd still be doing this. This is sort of like for her, this is breathing for her. You know, she doesn't want to, you know, here's the thing. Some people might look at this, you know, Billie, and think, well, this is just an act. This is not an act. This is not an act. This is genuine. You know, this is actually the way that she is. This is genuine. But she, you know, she accepts herself, but she doesn't. She wants to be different, actually. This is the feeling that I get connecting in with her, that she wants to, she doesn't necessarily want to, she wants to be, I guess like all of us actually, she wants to be accepted, and this is her prayer actually, in a way. This is her prayer, you know, her desire to be accepted, you know. But here's the thing, she has been accepted, she's got acceptance, but the beautiful thing about this is actually she's got acceptance not by conformity, but by actually being herself. And that's incredibly powerful when you think about that, you know. That's incredibly powerful. You know, really we want acceptance, but we don't want acceptance in the version of how somebody else thinks of us. We want acceptance in terms of, you know, who we really are. And this is where her abundance is going to come, you know. So this is not about, you know, often as not we talk about abundance as being money, but this is not necessarily always money. Abundance can be coming into yourself, and that change. You know, this is a woman who is looking, and we come to this card here, Isis, the goddess of magic. So sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. So this is, you know, as we kind of connect into this sort of this inner child energy, this is about her growing into herself as a woman. And, you know, in whatever way that sort of, you know, manifests itself in a love relationship. This is a woman who wants to connect on that level with somebody, you know, with somebody that she truly loves. And as she, you know, as she sort of steps into this sort of, into this relationship that she's looking for and that's going to come to her, this is going to be like her miracle. You know, she's somebody who's spent so much time in isolation, so much time in her own self, that, you know, there's this question of, you know, can I be normal? Can I be loved? Am I lovable? But, you know, she totally is. She's gonna, you know, she's gonna step into this power. And it is a sexual power. It's a power of, you know, this power of love, you know, in whichever way that, you know, this sexuality is expressed. There's no judgment in this. It's just to do with, you know, as we step from, you know, being a young adult into sort of like the next stage, we develop in this way. And as she develops in this way, this is going to bring her deep calm, actually. With it, it's going to bring her a calm that she hasn't had yet. It's not going to happen on the first go round. You know, that's my feeling. It's not going to happen in the first go round, but, you know, this is going to be an opening and a process for her as she steps into this sort of energy around her. Right, okay, that's really quite interesting, actually. So what we're going to do, and this is going to, eventually this will actually translate into her art. We'll see this coming into her art as well, as you would expect, actually. Not always, but it definitely is. This is a woman who expresses herself. Like, everything that she's ever written, ever done, ever will do is purely connected to the narrative of her own journey and her own experience and her point of view on that, and how she views others. So it's all of her art is deeply personal to her, actually. That's the feeling that I get when I connect in. So I'm going to use the wild animal unknown animal spirit totem. We're going to connect in and see what we can see. So beautiful artwork. As you know, I love to read with this deck. So, oh, okay, no, a bit too many, too quick. So let's connect into, wow, gosh, right, okay, right. The cards just want to fly out, so let's just focus, right? Just one card, please. Right, one card for her. Okay, we've got two, so that's fine. Camel energy and the beaver energy. Okay, and two more actually. Okay, the cheetah and the starfish. Right, interesting. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Right, okay. So the camel energies, I connect into the camel energy, okay, for Billie. This has been a long journey for her. This has been a really, really, really long journey. None of this has happened. You know, for some people that are not super fans or, you know, haven't heard of before, they'll kind of look at this woman and think, my gosh, she's come out of absolutely, you know, absolutely nowhere. But those that follow her will know that that's absolutely not true. You know, that's not actually true at all. She's been on this massively long journey of independence, actually, you know, of independence. And it's, you know, she feels that. It's been a really long process. It's a really long process. But, you know, as much as this has sort of been an inner work, as we move into the cheetah energy, that inner work is going to start to show in the outer. And we're going to see this, you know, coming back to this energy here, this ending in cycles and also transformation. We're going to see this for her. And, you know, as much as she's been inward, she's going to start to feel comfortable, you know, showing her energy outward and attracting, you know, a greater audience for her work than she already has, a more mainstream audience, which she's starting to see already actually. And you know, this is going to give her confidence, and it's going to give her momentum. There is this sort of feeling of being, you know, and I'm going to move this here actually. You know, this is where I feel this belongs. I get this feeling of being torn, because here we've got the beaver energy. The beaver energy is connected with family. And my understanding is she works very closely with her brother, doesn't she? I mean, I'm not sure how it all works actually. So if you're a fan, you'll probably be able to tell me how it all works. Is he predominantly, you know, does he sort of do the arrangement and do a lot of the songwriting along with her? I think, well, whatever it is, these two are extremely connected and extremely loyal. And this is a family first energy. You know, this is a family first energy. And as we come out of this, you know, her internal sort of energy into sort of putting herself out there and attracting more sort of, you know, a broader audience, there's going to be this sort of feeling of being split in half. You know, there's going to be this sort of tug of war, you know, in terms of loyalty. Now, the starfish can be cut in half. And when it's cut in half, actually, it can regrow itself both sides. So, you know, there is going to be this sort of feeling as she transforms from this energy into this, and as she sort of, you know, as her relationship with her brother changes, you know, the tension is going to come more and more on her, actually. And this is going to create tension. It's going to create tension for her. You know, it's really important as she sort of steps into this energy here that, you know, that she keeps this energy of her connectedness to her family grounded, you know, where she came from. Because, you know, this suggests, you know, this ungrounded energy, you know, being driven by, being driven by outward appearance, actually, by outward appearance. And, you know, maybe potentially sort of like superficial influences. And what she needs to make sure as she goes forward is that she stays grounded and connected into this energy that's, you know, the strength of where her support lies and where she comes from, actually, you know, and what's important to her. Because too much into this energy too quick, too soon is going to create this real sort of division for her in terms of how she feels. And also in her relationships, actually, in this dynamic. So I hope you've enjoyed that reading. If you'd like to make a comment, please make sure that you put your comments below. I do personal readings. If you think that would be of any benefit to you, please reach out and connect. I do take suggestions, so if you have a suggestion, please feel free to also make a comment. If you'd like to like, share and subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. In the meantime, make sure you look after yourselves, make sure you look after each other. I'm sending you all my love, and thanks for watching Celebrity Goddess Oracle.